Well, Tiffany Nino Brown Henyard is at it again. But this time, it's not with the city of Dalton's board of trustees. It's with the township. You know, the township where she gets over $200 and something thousand a year to do nothing. Well, now the mayors are coming out against her of those townships. And they had a whole list. They had a whole petition telling people to sign that and do not sign off on these taxes. She wanted to put something like $42 on all the homes that's worth over 100 grand to try to save $3 million to go to some mental health assessment stuff. And they're saying they don't know nothing about that. They don't know where that money's going. She's all in the tabloids right now for everything wrong. These people voted her in, man. And now it's not just Dalton, the city of Dalton, when you see. Now it's the mayors, and these mayors are coming from different townships of all colors. They're coming from different cities in the town, different towns in the township of all colors. And they all saying, they all blowing the whistle on this woman, and they telling her, no, we're not doing none of that. We need these allegations of misappropriated funds. We need to see receipts. Before we sign off on anything, we need to know that everything that she's doing is on the up and up, and is in the right path that can show that the city is being ran the right way. Her city that she's the mayor of is in like a $7 million deficit because of this woman. And now you going and you want these people to sign off and allocate over $3 million worth of funds to you? Where do they do that at? Where do they do that at? But that's not it. Let's check out Fox 32 Chicago, when at this meeting, where she got up and walked out of, the mayors of the township, they spoke. Let's check out what they had to say.
We want some openness about what's being done, and that's not what we got.
South suburban mayors are urging their constituents to vote against a proposed property tax increase. That increase would put nearly $3 million in new spending in Tiffany Henyard's hands.
The referendum on next week's ballot says the money would go for mental health services, but the mayors say they have no idea where it's going. Fox 32's Dane Placco has the story.
How many of the villages do you think are opposed to this?
The majority of them.
All of them.
All of them?
All the ones that signed.
The mayors of Markham, Homewood, and East Hazel Crest are among 11 South suburban mayors, plus a state senator and county commissioner, who signed a letter urging their constituents to vote no to giving Thornton Township more money.
Everyday residents just don't want to see their taxes go up. And if they do, they want to know why.
It comes in the form of a referendum question on next week's primary ballot that asks taxpayers whether they support a 0.15% property tax increase for the township for purposes of providing community mental health facilities for the person with a developmental disability or substance use disorder. If approved, it would raise nearly $3 million in new taxes, roughly $132 a year for a home worth $300,000. But the mayors say they're reluctant to give Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard what they say essentially amounts to a blank check.
How much money is going to actually be generated? Where's the mental health facility going to go, and what actually are they going to do? She's never communicated to any mayor that I'm aware of, and that's really our concerns is, what is she going to do with this pot of money that she's going to get?
And they point to our reporting on Henyard's spending, both as township supervisor and as the mayor of Dalton, including thousands of dollars for trips out of town, using police for a personal security detail, hundreds of thousands of dollars of credit card charges, and public tax dollars funneled into a charity in Henyard's name.
I just see waste, and it's waste upon waste upon waste. And thankfully, your stories bring it all out.
Fox 32 has also reported that FBI agents have questioned nearly a dozen people about Henyard, who last week vetoed a proposal by Dalton trustees to launch an investigation into her spending practices.
We're trying to alert the taxpayers in Thornton Township of this wasteful spending. And the answer is simple: vote no.
Thornton Township voters turned down a similar referendum in the last general election, but the mayor's worry, with turnout expected to be very small for the primary, this time there could be a different outcome. In Markham, Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
And this is where it gets real interesting. In this country, as Black Americans, a lot of our people like to scream racism a lot. Racism for this and racism for that and racism over there, racism everywhere, racism up there, racism down there, racism all the time, right? And in a lot of instances, it could be true. But when analyzing this situation here, Dalton trustee Chris Gonzalez, he spoke out to the news about the situation. And these people in Dalton and in the township, a lot of them were white, voted to put this black woman in this position. They wanted to go younger. And they put this young black woman in this position because they believed in her. They trusted her. They said, despite all of the preconceived notion and the things that's put in the media about black people, we're going to, you know what? We're not going to vote for our own. We're going to vote for this black woman and allow her to come in and run our township. Allow her to come in and be our mayor. And this is a non-black man, Chris Gonzalez, and he's speaking. And he said that the day she came and elected, she came and sat down in Keith's chair and was talking about they're going to be mad now. She was being real ratchet and ghetto. And he was like, what did I do? Who is this woman? Why is she behaving like this? He didn't understand. But they voted for this woman because he said he wanted a woman there. They wanted a shakeup. They wanted a change. They wanted some young blood up in there. And this is what you got. Check this out.
So it comes all the way down to 12 minutes before midnight on the legal deadline. This is in March of 2022 now. And it was you who 12 minutes before midnight said, I nominate Tiffany Henyard. And that was the first name that was actually voted for by the rest of the trustees. So then just a handful of minutes before midnight, Tiffany Henyard is sworn in as the supervisor of Thornton Township. Put us in Chris Gonzalez's mind, 12 minutes before midnight. What was your thinking in nominating her after this long process?
I mean, just as a whole, I just felt that I was hoping we could get somebody that was a little bit younger for the role. I felt it was time that, you know, maybe possibly, and I mean, I wasn't like honed in on that, but, you know, that, you know, a woman, you know, I just thought that that would be somebody, you know, that was a little bit younger, a woman. So that's kind of where I was. I'll be honest, I really didn't know at that time a whole lot of the, you know, that there was already some controversy and things like that, a little bit that was going on in Dalton, you know, say. Sure. So I didn't really know about that. And then it was also something that, I mean, obviously there, you know, just on the surface, there was a little bit of experience there. You know, she had been a trustee, you know, just became mayor. Kind of a town that you might have had as a base as far as just like, you know, once again, coming from that there might be some experience and things like that there. Yeah. She went straight to Frank's office and, you know, sat in the chair and she just kept basically yelling, what are they going to think now? What are they going to say now? Speaking of the Dalton trustees, because I guess, like I said, there was already a rift and I didn't know that. So I'm thinking in my, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? And then so I went to Keith on the side and I said, what is she talking about? I said, is the board against her in Dalton? And he said, yeah. And I said, who? He's like, everybody. And he was like proud of it. And at that time, I mean, I already was like, what did I do?
Now, as you can see, Mr. Gonzalez is saying, man, what did I get myself into? What did I do? And it's ugly because I know that this doesn't represent all of our people. But that stigma that we got on us as black people is the angry black woman syndrome. Black people are not capable of doing things on their own or running things on their own. We're not unified. We're everything wrong, right? She is like the poster child for all of that because we get labeled as a group, not as the individual. So I don't see nobody in that township voting for anybody black anytime soon because they view us as the individual and not the group. But Tiffany, let's go back a little bit. Let's backpedal a little bit, and let's look at some of the shenanigans over time with Tiffany Henyard. She took one of her elected officials that disagreed with her, Tiffany Brown, that disagreed with this woman. She took all of the important documents and threw them out of the office, out the door, and locked this woman out of her office. This woman called the news down there to come and document everything. Check this out.
You know, she says, everything's been moved out of your office. They've put you over into another section.
Right now at 9:30, a South Suburban elected official gets a rude surprise as she learns she's been locked out of her own office.
She believes it's dirty politics by another elected official who is now at the center of multiple controversies.
Fox 32's Dane Placco reports on another bizarre day in politics in Thornton Township.
So this is the assessor's office.
Cassandra Elston has been the assessor here in Thornton Township for the past 10 years, an elected position that helps residents deal with exemptions and property tax appeals. But when she arrived at work this morning, something strange happened.
This was your office?
Yes.
What happened when you tried to open it?
It doesn't work.
Not only had Elston been locked out of her own office, but boxes of sensitive documents that she kept in her office were spread around the common area.
This was under lock and key before.
This was under lock and key.
And now it's just out in the open?
Now it's just out in the open. So it has the taxpayer's name, address.
So who did this to you?
Well, I imagine this new supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
Tiffany Henyard has become a political lightning rod since she was elected mayor of Dalton, making $46,000 a year, and last year appointed Thornton Township supervisor at more than $200,000 a year.
This is Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Supervisor Henyard.
Last week, Fox 32 and the Illinois Answers Project investigated how Henyard is using Dalton and Thornton Township tax money, employees, and equipment to fund a cancer charity in her name. Elston has been critical of Henyard's spending at the township and believes getting kicked out is political payback.
But this is not going to stop me. This is my job. This is what I get paid to do.
She's the assessor. She invited us inside.
Okay. And that's when township security officers stepped in.
Okay. So you're refusing to leave? Yes.
South Holland police were called to the scene, and they agreed with us that the assessor had every right to invite us into her office.
The news crew is here to do an interview on me.
Does Tiffany Henyard have any right to do this?
Not only Tiffany Henyard, but nobody has any right to do this to a separate elected official like the assessor.
The assessor's lawyer, Bert Odelson, tells me they plan to file a lawsuit in Cook County demanding she get her office back.
It is extremely illegal.
You can do and say pretty much what you want to say or do to me. But when you start doing things that affects the taxpayers, that's why I draw the line.
After we finished the interview, somebody deactivated the key fobs for all of the assessor's employees, meaning now none of them can get into the office. So tomorrow they plan to set up tables and chairs here outside Township Hall to meet the public. In South Holland, Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
So as you can see, Miss Carissa Elston, who was an elected official for the past 10 years down there in Thornton, was locked out of her office. And security came and was trying to haul her out of there, the news people out of there, and they said that they wasn't going to leave. They didn't have to leave. They was invited there by an elected official that was still sitting in that chair, and the police came and sided with Miss Carissa. And these are all the shenanigans and stuff that's been going on while this woman has been in office, man. And it's just a big dog and pony show, a charade over there. I mean, it's just ugly. And for the life of me, I still don't understand how she's still in office. She's still in office. This election coming around this time is going to be something, man. It's going to be something. But she had this woman all these important documents with people's names on it, addresses, social security numbers, everything, just sitting out in the hallway for anybody to walk by and grab it. For anybody just to walk by. This is what Miss Nino Brown, a.k.a. Tiffany Henyard, is doing. Anybody that disagree with her, they get the axe. They just get cut. She fired that one woman while she was on FMLA and got her up out of there. Had the police come serving her papers. But these are just some of the things that's going on down there in Dalton, man. So you have trustees that trusted her to put her in office. They put her in office and trusted that this young woman would be a voice for the young people and she would get in there and do the right thing. And oh man, they make a big mistake. And that's an L for the whole black community. But I'm going to cut this video short here. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to Street Media TV. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.